let's talk about what SEC coaches had to say about the Tennessee Volunteers going into 2025 and why I think some of this is misplaced in how we should think about the quarterback position at Tennessee. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If that is something you're into, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Do you believe that it's a bigger deal for Tennessee to lose Nico Iamaleava or Dylan Sampson? Because I think this is where this conversation needs to begin. I'm also going to add, subscribe to Adapt and Respond on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I'm going to start giving away stickers for the people that have decided to just simply go there, follow the show, leave a review. There's a form in the bottom of the description that you can fill out, and I promise I will personally be putting these stickers in the mail to you as a thank you for just supporting the show across so many platforms. As we're getting bigger, we're adding more. We're going to do more live shows. We're going to do more live podcasts, and I've been pretty good about making sure you get those podcasts audibly if that's one way in which you like to, consume the show. So let's talk about what SEC coaches had to say about Tennessee going into 2025. I think this first quote really gets at the bigger overarching picture, but doesn't really take into account what Tennessee was doing in 2024. Losing Nico Iamaleava isn't good. They're not replacing him with a more talented quarterback, and they're losing the quarterback who ran their system in a playoff game. But because of the way everything went down, I don't think anyone blames the program or Josh Heupel. And with the turnover on defense, Nico leaving makes a transition year a lot easier to stomach. I think that last line is the truest you can take from this. Losing Nico Iamaleava along with Dylan Sampson when you did not expect to lose Nico Iamaleava really does reset the table for Tennessee and Tennessee fans, I think, and boosters who might have expected you to try to get back to the college football playoff this year and not get embarrassed in the first round like they did against Ohio State. But it also doesn't really give the credit to the engine that made that thing go. Yes, the defense was great. The defense was dynamic, the defensive line particularly, and then they got better in the secondary as they kept playing. But the offense was unlike any that I'd seen from Josh Heupel in years past, mostly because they couldn't really throw the ball. It was there to start because we saw what Nico was able to do against not so good teams, North Carolina State being one of them. And then we saw what he was able to do against Oklahoma, which is a 6-7 team, a bowl-eligible team, but an SEC team, right? He went for just 194. The guy that actually made that unit go was Dylan Sampson, who had 92 yards against Oklahoma and ends up being the SEC Offensive Player of the Year in a year where they had some pretty good offensive talent across the board, from Garrett Nussmeier to, my goodness, I think Quinn Ewers had a really great year. Just people don't want to talk about it that way. You keep going. And as far as what you expected from Lane Kiffin in that offense, you could make an argument for me that Nico might have been the 5th best quarterback in the SEC last year, and that's pretty good depending on what part of the season you're looking at. But I still think that Dylan Sampson is the guy that made this thing go with that offensive line. And there's lots to support this, which is why I think you're also giving a little too much credit to Nico and not enough credit to Joey Aguilar. Like, full stop. That dude's thrown for 3,000 yards in back-to-back seasons. He just did it at Appalachian State. And if he has a 2025 like he had a 2023, we're talking about a guy that could go for 3,800 with 35 TDs. That's good. That's good. That's real good at Tennessee, especially if you can get anything out of your backfield, and I think they will. I really do. I think the story of DeSean Bishop is going to be one that people fall in love with, especially given now what name, image, and likeness is about and how transient the college football rosters are. It's a year-to-year endeavor. People know this now. But a guy like DeSean Bishop didn't have to, but walked on at Tennessee and earned it. Earned it every step of the way. Got on scholarship, and it changed his life. Now he's in position to battle with Star Thomas. I think Star Thomas is the next guy up for that RB1 position, which has become very, very important to everything that Josh Heupel is doing. Even when they were able to throw the ball well, you still needed a bell cow back that gets you about 6.1 yards per carry, which is exactly what we saw from DeSean Bishop last year. I think that is telling. Now, the next quote is, the offense won't fall off a cliff. excuse me. Yes, the next quote is the offense won't fall off a cliff. That the system is effective at adjusting for personnel, even the quarterback. I mean, that's every offensive system. Like, that's a nothing quote. The bigger question, even after Nico, is replacing the defensive starters who carried them in big games. The secondary is legit and probably their strength right now, which is great because that defensive line was pretty good last year. They lost a little bit in linebacker, but it was still, I think, going to be their second best unit going into 2024. And then their secondary came on strong in Tim Banks' Broyles finalist year. They're going to take a step back and won't be a playoff team this season, but the quarterback play won't be awful. Yes, I agree with that one wholeheartedly. I think they are going to take a step back. I don't think the quarterback play is going to be awful, but I also think they got room to improve here on what they did last year. If Joey Aguilar turns out to be a better quarterback than Nico Iamaleava was last year, you can take a step back from your defense because you'll be able to do more offensively, throw the ball down the field, not have to run max protect and have 2 guys out in routes. It'd be amazing to have 4 guys out in routes, running that veer and shoot and going at warp speed, not unlike what you were able to do with Hendon Hooker. I don't know that Joey Aguilar has that in his bag, but I've seen enough from him to know that the potential to have that in his bag is there. That's why UCLA wanted him in the first place. I think that's also one of the reasons why I'm the person telling you Joey Aguilar is pretty legit, because I watched all the college football last year. But the people that aren't telling you that Joey Aguilar is really legit ain't watched him. Okay, they didn't see what he had to work with at Appalachian State. Certainly didn't want to give him credit for doing it in a group of 6 conference, right? That's what it is. You're going to see players, though, come up from the lower rungs all the way up to the Power 4 to the group of 6 levels. Like, one of my favorite examples going into this season is actually going to be Maverick McIver, who threw for 506 yards last year against Texas Tech at Abilene Christian. He's since transferred to Western Kentucky along with his offensive coordinator, Rick Bowie, and they're going to make it do what it do. That dude is a Texas quarterback. He wants to sling it. His quote was, "I want to throw for 6,000 yards, 60 TDs, and less than 5 interceptions." All right, dog, you at Western Kentucky. Maybe it can happen. Maybe Tyson Helton knows something. But if you get that kind of mentality at Tennessee, I think you're going to be okay. I do. I think DeSean and that running back room are going to be good enough. The offensive line, we'll see. How quickly Joey Aguilar can get up to speed with the offense is also going to be critical. Because if he hits the ground running, expect Tennessee to contend. If it takes him half the year to find his bearings, yeah, you're probably looking at 7-8 wins this year if you're lucky. I don't expect them to not go bowling, but I do expect it to be difficult to try to win football games at Tennessee, unlike it has been in years past, basically going back to 2021. Josh Heupel's done a really great job, and I think the University of Tennessee has said, no, it's a net positive to lose a guy like Nico Iamaleava, who was trying to hold the program hostage over what amounted to a raise that he didn't earn when he's probably getting paid more than he should have been paid based on what he did last year. That is the definition of fumbling the bag, right? And now Joey Aguilar gets to go in there making 7 figures, found money, playing SEC football when he expected to play really bad Big Ten football at UCLA in a zombie Pac-12 program. Sometimes college football makes no sense at all. But I'm excited for Tennessee, except when they play Oklahoma.